Today we're going to make some coleslaw, and you might think, yuck, don't like coleslaw, Mrs. Footer. But do you know what? When you make your own coleslaw, it's so much more tasty. And the good thing about cooking coleslaw, you don't have to cook. It's all raw and you just have to chop it up. So I've got my apron on, I've washed my hands, I've wiped the surface, I've made sure I've got all the equipment I need. So I've got a grater with a nice big graty bit. I've got a bowl to put my things in. I've got a sharp knife, only with mummies around please, or daddies, and a spoon. Now, you might not need to use your knife, but you might. So the first thing we're going to put in is the main thing that you put into coleslaw. So it's cabbage. Now I've got 2 cabbages just because I can. This is a red cabbage. And the reason it's a red cabbage is because it's red. And this is a white cabbage. It's not white, it's pale green, but we call it a white cabbage. So we're going to put some of that in the bowl. Now I'm going to use a grater. Now, this grater has got lots of different sizes. It's got a very fine one and a big slicing one, but what you've got to be really careful of is along these sides, it's really sharp. So you've got to keep your fingers out of the way at all times, and if necessary you leave a great big end left over rather than try and grate, because otherwise you'll grate your fingernails or the tops of your fingers off. So you put your grater in your bowl like that, and mine's got a rubber base just to stop it from slipping. You can stop your bowl from slipping around by putting a tea towel underneath like that. So that'll help your bowl stop sliding around. So I'm going to put it at an angle. I'm going to pick up my cabbage. Now you could, and it's probably not a bad idea, cut your cabbage in half. So shall we do that? So this is definitely where a mummy needs to come in, because cabbages are really hard. I probably should have had a bigger knife. So I'm just going to cut it in half like that. Down the middle. So make sure you get mummy to help you with this, or daddy. There we go. So that's the inside of your cabbage. You can't really see very much in the pale one, but maybe when we do the red one. So I'm going to hold it on the side and I'm going to rub up and down my grater. And I'm keeping, all the time, I'm keeping my fingers out of the way. There we go. I'll show you what I've got. So I'm knocking it so that all the bits come off the inside of my grater, and there we are. So I've got some grated white cabbage. So then I'm going to put in a bit of red, and I will cut it in half just so you can see the middle. So I'm keeping my fingers right out of the way. There we go. And they're amazing because you can see all the layers of all the leaves going round and round and round. So this is the base where it grows, and then it goes up and all the leaves go round. It's a really tight little bundle in these cabbages. You can get cabbages that aren't quite so. So all the time, keeping your fingers out of the way, because it happens quite quickly that it grates. See, I've already sort of done half almost anyway. So that is my white cabbage and my red cabbage, and I've got a carrot. So I've peeled the carrot, and I'm going to hold it well away from the end, because these grate very quickly. So I'm going to grate the carrot into there as well. There we go. Knocking it off as I go. So now I've got orange and red, and this is very healthy, because what we say is we should eat a rainbow. So I've got some green, I've got some red, I've got some purple, I've got some orange. So if I give that a stir, it's all those colours are mixed up like that. That looks delicious. That is the base of my coleslaw. And then you can add whatever you like. You could add grated apple. I've got some sultanas. I might add a few sultanas to mine. Yeah. I've also got some blueberries. I love blueberries in anything. So I'm going to put those in as well. Why not? You can add nuts if you're allowed nuts. Bit of cheese. I was going to put cheese in mine, but I think the cheese went at lunchtime, so that's not going to work. So at the moment it's all a little bit loose and it needs sticking together a little bit. And so you can either use mayonnaise or salad cream, depending on what you like, or I'm going to use a little bit of this Greek yoghurt in mine. So I'm going to put a nice couple of spoonfuls of that, just because I love Greek yoghurt. And it makes a really nice base for your coleslaw. So give that a nice mix up like that. And then that can go, that looks more like the coleslaw that you buy, only it'll be even more delicious. That can go in the fridge until you're ready for it. Now, what can you do with your coleslaw? You can just eat it with your meal, so put it on the side of your plate with something. Or you can make a wrap. So if you've got round wraps, you can put it in that. Or if you haven't got that, I've got a piece of bread which I'm going to make into a wrap. So I've got my bread and I'm going to carefully cut just the crust off. So fingers well out of the way, cutting just the crusts off, and I'll keep that and give those to the birds, or I might give it to the chickens later. I tell you who would really like it, the goats. They'll be very pleased with that. So I've got my slice of bread and I've cut all the crusts off, and then with my rolling pin I'm going to roll it till it's flat. Funny thing to do, Mrs. Fitter. Well, yes it is, but it makes a wrap. So then I can put a bit of my coleslaw in the middle. I could take this on a picnic or something. I could go out into the garden, now it's nice. Fold it up like a little roll with the coleslaw in the middle and then eat it. So that's your coleslaw. I think I'll have the rest of mine later with my supper. But enjoy your coleslaw.